What up, movie disciples and good people of YouTube? I am Brian, the movie messiah, doing something a little different to the channel. Let's say the latest edition. Call this, movie face off or movie off, movie versus, where we take, horror movies or just movie. I'm sorry, movies in general. And this one is set around horror movies, and you're gonna go, back and forth, a couple questions where we debate some movies, kind of, our own version of like, let's say like PTI, something like that. So we're doing the Better Horror Franchise, and I'm representing Insidious, and we have frequent guests, my brother from another mother, Mr. Ryan, aka Mr. ATL Rain, is here with us, and he's gonna be holding it down for Paranormal Activity. Sir, how are you doing today?
Outstanding, man. Looking forward to checking this out and seeing who's going to come out as the better horror franchise.
It's October, so I'm an October boy. So I figure, OVO, me and Dre get down, some Halloween horror stuff. October is a fantastic month. And why not talk about some horror in October? Before we get into it, though, make sure you guys follow myself on social media, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. And make sure you guys follow Ryan on Twitch and maybe even social media on Instagram if you guys want to do that as well. Also, make sure you guys hit that like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell so you guys are notified when I drop videos like this or any other videos on the YouTube channel. Let's just get right into the questions. What makes Paranormal Activity a better franchise? Surely guess. Obviously, that's for you. Go ahead. Let me know.
All right, I'm on the clock. So to be fair, we're each getting how long to talk about our independent thoughts here.
Let's say for this question, let's say 2 minutes.
All right,
Let's see what happens. A minute and a half, 2 minutes. Let's go.
Paranormal Activity, you're on the clock. All right, so Paranormal Activity. This is something that is it's a little bit interesting because for the movie itself, this is a movie that you can sit down and watch. And this is why it's a better franchise versus Insidious, because you don't even have to understand the subplot that is happening throughout the entirety of the 7 movies that are in the franchise. You literally can sit down and you can watch the first one, the second, the fourth, the fifth, whatever movie, and you can sit down and it's almost like it's an independent movie from all the other ones because it has the same underlying principle, paranormal activity. If you're like me, then you're really big into ghost stuff. Shout out Ghost Adventures on Travel Channel. I love that show. Much different than, some of the other ghost hunter stuff that's out there. But this movie is basically the blueprint for that TV show, with the difference of you have to decide, is it real or is it not? Obviously, it's Hollywood magic. It's going to be things that are set up that are made for you to get shocked at. So Paranormal Activity, you can sit down and you can watch any of the movies. Doesn't matter where you are. You don't need to understand what happened in this movie or this movie to get to this movie. But if you dive into the subplot, then you understand that there are 2 sisters throughout the entirety of the franchise that has taken this the whole way, as well as one's significant other or spouse. I can't remember which one he was. It was Micah. He appears in multiple movies. Katie appears in multiple movies, young, old. The timeline's all over the place. The movie has time travel if you're into it. But at the end of the day, you can sit down and watch any of these movies without knowing anything and still be scared out of your freaking mind at what happens because of the shock factor. That right there makes this horror franchise hands down better than Insidious.
All right. Go right into why Insidious is in my. We'll go back and forth in a second. Like, I'm gonna give my points, and then we'll go back and forth in a second. I like it. I'm not gonna get mad at it. What makes Insidious a better horror franchise than Paranormal Activity? I mean, it has a fantastic storyline. Like, you're dealing with family trauma, and obviously, the paranormal stuff is happening. And instead of paranormal, you can actually see this demon. It had the red faced demon, aka Darth Maul's little bro with a bad haircut. The franchise is so solid that it got its own ride at freaking not ride haunted type of house at Universal Studios, which I walked into, which still worked. I was like, damn, I'm on the movie set. It was creepy as hell. In the first movie, Dalton, my man, had superpowers. Pretty much, he can astral project himself, so he should be an X-Men. And he's out here, doing that. And his daddy got it too. So I mean, that was dope in itself. They introduced a whole new place called the Further, a new spirit realm. I was like, what is this? The sets look amazing. The scares were super legit. Put you in the place like, all right, is it the house or is it the boy? What is happening? You find out demons and stuff is going down. In the sequel, you get like some Back to the Future type stuff going down because stuff is happening simultaneously. You figure out it happened in the first one, so you're like, what is this? It was the first one was so good that they made two prequels that you didn't realize were actually prequels. I was like, wait, so the third one is a prequel leading up to another prequel right after that, leading to the first actual movie. So it's on some Star Wars type stuff right there. By the time you get to the third horror movie, it starts going downhill. But the third movie is still pretty damn good. And they could have ended it right there, but they made a fourth one, and that first one wasn't bad. I think the third one might be better than the second one. The second one wasn't as scary. It was just cooler, expanding what it was. So I think Insidious is that fire because they made one super scary ass movie, and three other ones that was damn good right after that. After that, they don't fall down. So I feel Insidious is just that damn good.
All right, so give me a what, 30 seconds to respond?
Sure.
All right, so here we go. So you mentioned you went to a haunted house that was the set of the movie.
Yep.
Paranormal Activity is your freaking house. It's literally you. You're in your room, and the stuff is happening all around you. You're sitting in your kitchen, and this goes back, I think it's in the second movie. The pots and pans, the cupboards, everything, bang, opens. That you cannot tell me that you did not sit in the movie theater like this. Oh, man, it didn't matter who you were jumping. That is why. The surprise factor.
Okay, surprise factor. I'm like, I'm gonna rebut that. Okay, so I'm not gonna speak that. I did jump, especially the second one. I missed the first one because they didn't have that in Mississippi when I was in college when the first one came out. Show my age. See, the thing is, like, you think it's in your house, but it's really attached to the woman. So that means you ain't pick your spouse right. So that means if you gotta do your research about how crazy and messed up it is, like, find out the girl's a witch or the mom was a witch, some weird shit. So it's really about who you find out. You didn't do your history, you didn't do your job enough. When Cities, it was just some whole shit like some demons, like demons can pop up anywhere, but it's some crazy witch shit. Just do a better thing. Also, what's creepier than white people being haunted scary white kids? That's really creepy. That'll really freak you out. See?
I mean, either way you look at it, I can't rebuttal that. But all right, so all right, moving into the next part here. Now let's go ahead and I'm gonna toss this one to you.
Okay.
And hopefully I'm grabbing this the right way. Could there be, and I think we kind of alluded to this, so let's not even go, could there be a sequel? Let's go a little bit deeper. This horror franchise that we're looking at of Insidious, I'm not even gonna say could there be, because we're gonna just confirm that it's gonna happen.
All right.
What would the Insidious 5-part, 10-part miniseries on Netflix look like, and why does it still continue to be the better franchise? Go.
Ooh, okay. If they're gonna do like 10 episode series on Netflix, they can easily like jump 20 years into the future, right? So in the first one, he had baby Callie. She was a baby. So she's 20 years old now. She's grown. She's out here getting her cheeks clapped. She's out here living her life, and some weird stuff starts happening, with her boyfriend. So her boyfriend thinks he's being haunted, and she feels like she's kind of heard this, but the family didn't talk about this too much. So she starts trying to do some research, trying to help her boyfriend out, but ends up talking to her brother Dalton about it. And Dalton can't remember because they kind of had like the memory wipe a little bit in the second one where he couldn't astral project and all this stuff. So come to find out, it's like a whole discovery about the deep dive back into the family, like what happened since then. And come to find out that the boyfriend is being haunted, but only trying to lure in Callie to actually lure in Dalton to bring him back to like finish off the whole like the family, since the dad did something. And then like some weird stuff, find out that the mom made a deal with the devil, and Callie's gonna end up getting sacrificed because that's the deal the mom made. So I think that's how it could work on Netflix, or a potential spinoff or sequel or whatever in the series.
All right, let me go ahead and take my stab. That was right at a minute and a half, so I'll just go ahead. Netflix miniseries. Again, you're looking at a franchise that has a subplot that's built into it, and you have to really follow it and know. But when you sit down into a horror franchise such as a Paranormal Activity, you got to ask yourself, are you really in it for the story? Or are you just in it to get the hell scared out of you? And so let's do 5 episodes or 10 episodes. Create a different subplot. A lot of this stuff happened out in San Diego, California, for at least this. Okay, throw a dart, bam, we're in Portland, Maine. You know, come on, that sounds scary enough to be in that area, let alone just picking a spot. You could even pick where they had the Salem witch trials. You know, you can do Salem, Massachusetts, whatever you want. Pick a place. It doesn't matter, because you're going to get the crap scared out of you at what is around it. It doesn't matter about the subplot, and that's what makes this horror franchise better, is that it doesn't matter about the plot. If you dive into it, then you're good to go. If you start getting into like the marked ones or the ghost dimension, that's where the plot really started to build a little bit more heavier, and I feel that's where it kind of spun off. But if you want to talk about Netflix or HBO Max or whatever miniseries, insert Ghost Adventures. There's your Paranormal Activity. It's been running for over 20 some seasons. It works. That's why this works. That's why it's the better franchise, because stuff that happens in your house is scary as F. And that's why it continues to be a better franchise.
Okay, that's it. Like a minute 31. All right. Okay. Like, I like that. Like, yeah, I can see that. Well, like,
I mean, outside of the scary ass white people, you still haven't convinced me why Insidious is a better franchise. Look at every horror franchise. It's always some demented white person. That's all it is. You got Michael Myers. What is he? Okay. Freddy Krueger. What was he? Jason Voorhees. What is he? The only thing that comes to mind is like La Llorona, which is more Mexican folklore, or you're talking about Candyman. Like, all right, man, white people are scary. We know it. Tell me something I don't know.
Okay, I did drop the ball on saying why Paranormal. Like, Insidious is just, I'm like, it had 4 like solid movies. Like, none of them were like with some BS. Like, by the time you got to the Mark ones, I was looking like, I saw it in the theater, and I was like, I don't know if I'm even scared or just like watching around. Like, my man was out here playing Simon with the Ghost. He had playing, he had like powers. He had like the venom stuff coming out of his eye. I was like, what is happening right now? I wasn't even scared. I was just like, this is some goofy stuff happening. But I give props to them, giving Hispanic people, the lead role in the movie. I was like, shout out to diversity. But I just wasn't feeling it. And then the Ghost Dimension, had a hole in the wall or some weird shit. And it was like back in time. I was like, what is happening? Like, it got worse. So I'm just saying, Insidious was consistent. It was like, boom, we stand right here. We like start off, let's say, like at a B plus, and maybe drop down to like a B, and then it was like maybe B minus. Like, Paranormal Activity was like probably like what, B plus, B plus, B minus, C, D, F, like whatever you see back in the day with kids. I'm just saying, like.
So yeah, I mean, the drop off in Paranormal Activity is the graph does shoot up higher quicker, and then it declines very quickly. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It
was like, oh shit, like I start feeling Insidious is better. Can we rank? Can you rank Paranormal Activity? Like, or can you say which one is the better one in the franchise?
Best one in the franchise is always going to be the first one, and that I think that holds true for almost any movie, horror movie or not. It's always the first one. That's what sets the bar. There is no this without that, and so yeah, the first one. I mean, Katie's back here staring at me, sleeping in the bed. I mean, that's scary, and that's what set the tone. So the first one, the original, it's always going to be the scariest, and I think it still holds its. I think it still holds till today.
Okay, I feel like not for this one in particular, but I can dispute that with another horror franchise maybe down the line. I feel like in Insidious, the first one was the best one, but technically it's a third one because the other 2 are prequels. But the first one was the best one, and then the third one I think is just a little better than the second one, and then the second one, and then the fourth one. But so it really didn't drop off. Like, the fourth one was talking about some keys. I got the keys. But besides that, like, the first one was the best one, and then I mean, it's kind of like a toss up from there. I feel pretty good about Insidious. Like, consistency is the key for a great horror franchise, and you start dropping off, like, start doing some weird stuff. I don't know about Paranormal, man. Like,
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll say, the story of Insidious, it holds test of time throughout pretty much all the movies. It's very consistent, and that's where I think Paranormal Activity does alter a little bit because it's not so much the plot that gets people to come back. That's more or less like the secondary feature if you really dive in. So if we're ranking franchises, which we are, which one would be the better one? For the scare factor, I think Paranormal Activity has this hands down, hand over fist. But if we're talking about what's going to make a better franchise, I can concede that Insidious has more content around it. But come on, who's going for content, man? We're going to the movies, and who's going for content? Who's going for content?
I appreciate you conceding, but we gotta say, if you're going for content and scares, like boom, like that's what we're going for. You want to waste your money because that's what I'm here for. Make sure people aren't wasting their money, spending on stuff, even though it's old. But you want to make sure you go for some top notch stuff, so you're getting some great scares and a great storyline. It's a win-win. Like I ain't gonna lie, Paranormal had some great scares. That second one I went on a date, I was oh shit, man. I appreciate you conceding. Like Insidious
Absolutely.
is a better horror franchise. But since you are here and I'm a gracious winner and host, is there any movie that you want to highlight and let people know about that maybe they should check out in the horror genre right now?
Perfect. Thank you so much. So outside of the Paranormal Activity genre, so it's up to you guys to really decide who won. But hey, I get it. But no, on a more serious note, a movie that I'm very passionate about, and I've mentioned this just several times with my guy here, the movie Messiah himself. It's a new franchise that is new. I mean, it's hard to create original content for horror franchises. I mean, there's always a little bit of blend. But the movie franchise, or the killer, if you will, Art the Clown from the movie Terrifier, it's on Netflix. You gotta see it. If you are into Freddy Krueger, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, like the original like 80s slasher types, guys, this is the best original horror movie that has come out in some time. Yes, the movie's low budget. It has an 80s feel, but throughout the entirety of the movie, you don't feel like you're in the 1980s. It just is a very different setting and just tone of the style of movie. So if you're a slasher horror film fan like I am, I'm urging you, go check out Terrifier. Art the Clown is terrifying, for lack of a better descriptive word. It's a great original killer that is definitely going to take off. Get on the boat now. You always get that little notification on your Spotify, and it tells you like you're on this artist before everyone else. Get on the boat now. This is going to take off. And let the movie Messiah and myself know in the comments below if you've seen it and what you think of it once you see it. Quick spoiler, don't eat when you're watching it. And definitely don't have kids around unless they're super into that or super mature. But it's an excellent horror movie. You got to go see it.
I've seen it, and I guess that could be, alluding to like I think we're gonna just have to do a spoiler review about Terrifier, coming up really soon. So check that out from the both of us. I'm talking about that really soon. We're probably wearing the same clothes.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I'm like, what is the word? I can't think of anything from school. Yeah, check out Terrifier. We're definitely talking about that. And a movie for myself, I'm not gonna say too much about it, but a movie called Under the Skin, starring Scarlett Johansson, and she's playing some type of alien type that's luring men in and pretty much killing them. So check that out. A lot of it is super low budget, low key. A lot of people didn't know they were being filmed. It is creepy, weird, a lot of tension, super crazy, and Scarlett Johansson is butt ass naked. Black Widow is all I'm gonna say. So if you're like that into that, men or women, want to see Scarlett Johansson butt naked, this might be the movie for you, and it's really good. There you go. So, but I guess it's the first edition of Movie Off. Still working on the title, Movie Face Off, around the Cineplex, whatever you want to call it. We're still working on it, And maybe, you see myself and Ryan go back at it again, aka Mr. ATL Rain, or it might be myself versus a couple of other people, or we'll see how this goes. I enjoy doing it, and hopefully you guys did too. Let us know what you guys think about this video here, and what video think which horror franchise do you actually think is the better one? Do you lean more towards ATL Rain with Paranormal Activity, or are you leaning more towards myself with Insidious? Post your comments down below. Down below, I would love to see what you guys think. Man, I gotta thank ATL Rain, my dude Ryan, for coming out once again and chopping up with me about some movies. Appreciate it. You guys follow him on Twitch. He's killing it right now as ATL Rain. And you follow him on social media as well. And myself on social media, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Love chopping up with you guys over there on Twitter and in the comment section down below. I would love to hear you guys' feedback about what we're doing right here. And make sure you guys hit that like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell so you guys are notified when I drop videos on the channel. If you like this video, cool. If you didn't, man, you're just not into horror movies, or you're just a hater. I don't know.
It's October. How can you not like horror movies?
Boom, there you go. That's it. It's your boy Brian the Movie Messiah. Base 5. Let's ride.